The number one battle you cannot give up on is the battle of posture. So just remember, it's gonna be a nonstop battle until you can set up your submission or your sweep. I'm gonna constantly be using this knee pull to bring my partner down. And what a knee pull is, if you're new, my legs are locked above my partner's belt, my heels are biting back, and if I wanna bring my partner forward, I need to bring my knees up towards my head. You guys see? If Trey has a good frame in, has good hands on my hips, good grips to prevent me from doing that, if I try to bring him forward now, you guys will feel this, it's all stuck. What I need to do in that case is find a way to break him down. And right there, I just pulled his elbows out to the side, which weakened that structure, and I pull my knees forward, okay? We can also start to work our partner's hands down by going inside of their hands, opening up, pulling our knees, and you guys see we can start to get hands to the mat. What we're gonna work today is, while we're breaking people's posture, I would love to get their hands to the mat, but sometimes if they're playing smart, they'll fall and their arms will land on you. Okay, in this scenario, I wanna start trying to work my partner's elbow to the center. If I can work one of my partner's elbows to the center, we can make them vulnerable to attack on that arm. So one thing we can do is I start to control my partner's head here. If I want to attack this arm, I'm going to grab right behind the elbow. I kind of lift my hips and I push that elbow in and then bolt my knees back to my chest. And now I've trapped his elbow across my center line. You guys see that? If I can get that to happen, I'm going to start controlling my partner's head with both hands. And I'm going to start to scoot my hips out a little bit. And now I'm going to start climbing my legs up my partner's back. You guys see this? I'm trying to get to this position right here, where the arm that I pushed into the middle, I have their shoulder controlled with my leg, okay? Watch how I did that again. I control my partner's head. We can raise our hips off the mat. I'm gonna push that in and pull my knees back to my chest to trap him. I'm pulling the head down. Now watch, I start climbing a leg. Whenever a leg climbs, your head is gonna go to that side. You guys see that? One, look at my head shifting. As my legs climb, my head is going back and forth. Eventually, the last bite I'll take is with the side opposite of the shoulder that I have, and I'll lock my legs, okay? Whenever I lock my legs here, it's important to make sure that when I lock them, I'm gonna start back heeling, okay? Ideally, this leg over the top. When I back heel, I'm raising my hips, okay? From this position, we have a top lock. We're gonna stop right here at first. We're just gonna practice walking our legs up into the top lock. Here's how you can test if you have a good top lock. Is your head off center, opposite of the shoulder that you have controlled? When I back heel and raise my hips, can my partner pull their arm out? If they can't, you got them stuck, and we can attack this arm. While you're here, just test your top lock. You should be able to arm bar them without moving your legs. Grab the wrist, start to hip up, arm bar. I'll say it again. We're working up to the top lock and do a basic top lock arm bar, but I'm trying to break my partner down. He lands with his arms on my chest, which is smart for him. I'm gonna control the head with one hand, opposite hand behind the elbow. I raise my hips, push the elbow in, knees back to my chest. I control the head as I walk my legs up. I'm finding over the shoulder. If you need help with that, I can help you. It's a skill that you gotta practice. Climbing, your head is moving sides. But now you'll see that shoulder is controlled. My leg is over the top of it. My head is on the opposite side. I back heel and raise my hips. Have your partner try to pull their arm out. When they can't, control the wrist, hip up, test your arm bar. This is just a good tip because I had a good question. Whenever we're here, the way we're showing it today is that I'm breaking the guy down. He's doing pretty well, right thing. He's got his arms on my chest. And what I'm doing is I'm just barely creating enough space to barely get him in danger. I'm popping that elbow across the belly button. It's over about that far. But I can use that little mistake or little weakness in his positioning to start working an arm bar. And now we have what we need for an arm bar. We have the elbow to the center of the body. If I can climb up and get over that shoulder, now I can start to go for that arm bar. But Just realize, if you guys got to where you pulled their arm all the way over and did a big knee pull like this, it would not make sense to go for the arm bar right now. Because I have his back almost, you guys see? In this type of scenario, I would scoot out, and you've probably seen me teach this, try climbing the back. While you're trying to climb the back, sometimes the guy will pull back to the middle. Look at my legs, look at my legs. And now we're here, you guys see? So once I get to the top lock, however I do it, either I barely get his elbow to the middle and I climb up his back, or I got it way over, but he started pulling it back to the center and I climbed up his back. But we're in the same position either way. Now let's really work on making a super tight armbar transition. The biggest mistake that you'll make when you're going for an armbar is during the transition, whenever you start to go, you're gonna leave too much of a gap and not have the correct tension in your legs. And right at this moment, Trey pulls out, he's gone. You guys see? What we have to do is use our legs in a way to where during our transition, it's still very hard to escape. So first thing I'm gonna do, once I got my top lock, I was controlling his head. Once I get to the top lock, I'm gonna start controlling his wrist with my elbow with this arm, and the arm opposite of the shoulder, I'm diving under the leg, and I'm gonna pull myself to 90 degrees. You guys see this? While I'm doing this, there's back heeling pressure the whole time. My hips are raising up. So at any point, if Trey tries to pull his arm out, he's still stuck. You guys, if you ever relax, he's gonna be able to pull that out. Just remember, as soon as you get to the top lock, you're back heeling, control the wrist, pull yourself to 90, okay? Now, watch this very important detail. I know that I'm gonna say it and I'm still gonna come around and people will not be doing this, but I swear this is the most important part of this whole thing. While I'm back heeling, we're now gonna do a shoulder pivot. This knee in front of the shoulder, watch this last little pivot. I'm gonna pinch my knee and pivot. You guys see that tiny pivot? Went from here, I'm pinching, back heeling, I open my legs. Try to pull your arm out. Look guys, he still can't get his arm out. My legs are unlocked. I pinch and pivot. Try to rip your arm out. Look guys, he's still stuck. Now, I'm gonna scrape, if Trey had more hair, I would say scrape his hair off his head. Try to scrape their eyebrows. But my knee is scraping across, and I seat it. Whenever I scrape back in front, I want you to send your leg up high and seat your hamstring to the neck. Now, he's in a really tight armbar. And during that transition, he wouldn't have been able to pull out. Now I'm back heeling. And what happens here is usually your partner's starting to drive into you. Push right here, guys, I'm back heeling, driving my heels down to the floor, which raises my hips, and we get that tap. Also, I could take my partner to their back. It's either because they're not pushing into me or because I want to take them. I take my feet over the head and I lift the leg. When your partner hits their back on the mat, pull up on the wrist. And now this is my favorite place. I don't like to finish arm bars from my back ideally, unless it's quick. If I ever get stuck there, I just take them overhead, put them here.